Hello everyone, today in this video we'll fight against the atmospheric character of our world around us, and we know that since like 30-40 years we have some problems, around the world. There are some problems with some radicals, and the main populations of currently very active radicals are so-called Islamic radicals. Before we had more inspired from Moscow leftist radicals like Rota Arme Fraktion, in Germany Rose Brigadi, in Italy, and so on. But now we have Islamic radicals here and there. And many people who do not know history well and like to make easy analogies with the previous historical periods say, just to make these Islamic radicals to calm down, just to make them fade away, we need reformation in Islam. And they think, not knowing history, that reformation itself was such a great thing that this corrupted, ugly, oppressive Catholic Church was suddenly reformed, and Protestants, after this reformation quickly, were blooming in tolerance, love, and peace, and so on. I know that especially in Europe, majority of Protestant churches are a joke, are simply propaganda stations for LGBT and leftist bullshit, but still in Africa, United States, and in South America more and more, Protestantism is fanatical, lively, and developing. So, these are the key words. When Reformation started, Europe had to deal with almost 150 years of continuous religious wars. And what are the Protestants saying? Main Protestant motto saying is sola scriptura, so only the scripture. So only the Bible, only the Holy Script. And now coming back to modern Islamist radicals, what are they saying? Only Quran. So sola scriptura, only scripture, the same. So one can say, and viewers of my channel and the ones who watch it, they know that I really, as an amateur historian but very passionate from the early childhood, I do not like simple historical analogies because very often they do not work very well. One needs to study, and to make good analogies one needs to really think and study the topic, then analogies are good. But here, surprisingly, analogy is very clear. Protestants, fanatics, Lutherans, Calvinists in 16th century, when it started, first half, they said sola scriptura, so only the scripture. In Latin it means sola scriptura. And radicals like ISIS and so on are telling only holy book, only Quran, nothing else. So we can say that they are now quite, and this is good analogy, sort of very well defined equivalent of Protestants from early decades of Reformation. That is why they are waging wars, they are defending their views, and they are going according to the only scripture, the scripture they recognize as true one, so Quran. So we see that when I'm always cautious with analogies, here we can say that this is what's happening now with these radical moves in Islam. This is a sort of Islamic reformation, at least in this sense, equivalent of it. Of course, I do not like to have direct conclusions that this evolution that these people started few decades ago, and actually Islamic radicalism started thanks to the collapse of Ottoman Empire, so the institution of caliphate, but this is for a different video. And as I mentioned, I do not want to go with simple analogies and tell, of course, this Islamic Reformation will go exactly like European Reformation, and in about 70-80 years it will reach the tolerance and understanding with other religions. No, we don't know how it will go, and I really don't like to impose the pattern of the development of so-called civilizations in geographically speaking Western world into other civilizations that develop in their own way. One civilization, of course, when they interact with each other, affects the other, but simple analogies and assumptions that they will follow the same pattern is not the right thing to do. That is why I would like to really cool down the enthusiasm of reformation in Islam and other religions. I would just to send them to history books about the reformation, and I would just send them to observation of the reality and looking for the not only similarities but the things that go exactly the same. Radicals who want to reform in their own understanding, their own set of beliefs, and they are saying that we are relying now only on the Holy Book, so sola scriptura, only scripture. If you are asking me about Islamist reformation, at least in its initial form, here we go. These radicals are the manifestation of it. All the best, have a nice day, bye.